In round 7 of the Aeroflot Open tournament, Wei Yi faced the Estonian Grandmaster Kaido Kulaots, who has been having a good tournament thus far. This game was a long and tough battle. Wei Yi had white pieces, and this is the position after 45 moves, resulting from a close Sicilian. Wei Yi is up a pawn in this position, but his pawns aren't exactly pretty. You can see that they're isolated and doubled. So Wei Yi is trying to win another pawn, the pawn on a5, but here black is also attacking the pawn on b3. So Wei Yi defends with a checkmating threat. He plays rook a8. So now rook takes b3 is met with queen c8, which threatens mate on h8. But amazingly, black has enough resources to survive. Maybe Kulaots did not manage to find a draw, or perhaps he didn't want to risk miscalculating the position. So the drawing line is as follows. Queen takes b2 check, king h3, g4 check, queen e2, bishop f3, rook b4, king h3, and here rook to h4 check. The move which gives black the perpetual. So here g takes h4 is forced, queen takes f3, and this is going to be a draw. So instead of playing this move, rook takes b3, Kulaots played rook to a7. We have rook to b8, rook to d7, so that prepares to meet queen c8, or even queen to h1. With the threat of queen h8 mate, black is preparing to meet that with rook d8. So now rook a8 played, attacking the pawn on a5, and here rook to d8. Kulaots decides to give up a second pawn in hopes of keeping his king safe. So here rook takes a5, queen b6, rook a3, and rook to h8. So the h file could potentially be a source of counterplay for black. Kulaots correctly judged that despite being down 2 pawns in this position, this is still objectively a draw, as it is extremely difficult for white to make use of this passed b pawn. It also helps that white's pawns are isolated. So here we have queen to d2, rook to b8, stopping b4, queen f2, offering a queen trade, and black declines since that would only make life easier for white. Queen to d2, again trying to push with b4, so black stops that, queen c5. We have bishop f3, rook b7, rook a5, queen b6, bishop d1, and here queen to d4. So as you can see, not easy at all for white to make progress. Queen to c3, queen to e3. White even needs to be careful here. With the bishop no longer blockading on the e4 square, a timely e4 could be dangerous for white. So here rook a4 played, hoping to meet e4 with the move d4, although the position could get complicated after queen d3. Queen takes e takes d3, very strange endgame, and it's unclear who is exactly better in this position. So here this move e4 is possible, but Kulaots played rook to b8. We have rook to e4, taking away the possibility of going e4, queen a7, b4, rook to h8, trying to stay active, and here bishop b3 from Wei Yi, a very ambitious trying to support the b pawn with bishop c4. But in doing so, the bishop can no longer defend this pawn on f5 with bishop g4, which was hit immediately, queen d7. g4 is forced, the king feels a bit airy, and now black has the option of rook h4, putting more pressure on this pawn. So black played the move queen a7, just a flexible move, waiting to see what white does in this position. We have queen to d2, rook h4, queen to e1, queen b8, queen g3, queen a7, queen e1, queen back to b8. Kulaots hints at a draw, but Wei Yi rejects it with bishop c4. So Kulaots continues with queen to h8, now threatening rook h2 check, so that was stopped with queen g3, and now bishop to d8. Kulaots tries to bring the bishop into the game, maybe bishop b6. So maybe Wei Yi should have taken a draw because this position is starting to look a bit difficult for him. If white continues with b5, bishop b6 gives black a lot of dangerous options. For example, something like this, which is supported by the bishop. Maybe even swing the queen over to the other side of the board. So after bishop d8, d4 was played by Wei Yi. Again, very ambitious. So that was taken. And now this enables black to plant a bishop on a nice central square on e5. So opposite colored bishops tend to be very drawish in the endgame, but when one side has the attacking initiative, and especially with the queens on the board, it can be very dangerous for the defending side. So Wei Yi decides to sack the exchange, rook takes e5. I'm guessing this is all part of Wei Yi's plan, but if anyone has winning chances, it's probably black in this position. White also always has to watch out for this e4 move, opening up the diagonal for the queen, which could be potentially quite dangerous. So this is difficult to play for white. In fact, Wei Yi blunders right away. He played b5. So perhaps a better try was to go queen to e3, which hits the pawn on g5, and also white wants to play queen c5 and potentially get some counterplay with the move d6. But instead we have b5, queen to d6 from Kulaots, a good move, simply attacking the pawn on d5. And if bishop f3, king f6 keeps everything nice and secure, and black is ready to cause problems with queen to b4. So here Wei Yi played queen to e3, we have king f6 defending, b6, and now queen takes d5 check, bishop f3, queen d4. White is forced to exchange queens to avoid losing his precious b6 pawn. So here queen takes d4, e takes d4, b7 from Wei Yi, but rook h8 stops the promotion. And this endgame is unfortunately lost for Wei Yi. White's best resistance is to play king to f1, trying to cover the d4 pawn. But in the game, Wei Yi played the move bishop to c6, hoping for a miracle with bishop d7, bishop c8, trying to cut off the black rook, but this can be easily stopped. King e5 played bishop d7, and here rook to b8 ends any hope that white has. We have bishop to c8, king to e4, king to f2. So here king d3 is a very straightforward win. After king e1, king c2, there is simply no stopping the d-pawn. But here king to e5 played. A bit unusual, but I guess that just highlights that white is completely helpless in this position. In fact, Wei Yi resigned. So one possible line is to go king e2, king e4, f6, d3 check, king d2, king d4, and here white is in zugzwang. He can push the pawn, but he will soon run out of moves. Meanwhile, black can just go king to e4, king back to d4, and just wait. For example, if b3, then king to e4. And if white tries bishop f5 check, rook takes b7 eliminates the dangerous pawn, and here black should be winning as well. King takes f6, and it's only a matter of time before black scoops up the b pawn as well. So I'm just playing through a possible continuation. And here rook b3 scoops up the pawn, then black is winning. That was really unfortunate for Wei Yi. Sometimes pressing too hard can backfire. So after this win, Kaido Kulaots now joins the leaders of the tournament with 5.5 out of 7. So that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed the game. Thanks for watching and have a great day.